The wolves do not chase the weak. They hunt the strongest because they fear what they cannot control. Chosen one, your power has always set you apart, and now they're circling, waiting for a moment of doubt. You felt the pressure in every whispered rumor, the sting of betrayal by those who claim to love you, and the weight of unseen forces trying to dim your light. They underestimated you once, believing your faith was fragile. But tonight you'll learn that every attack was proof of the great strength within you. The hidden war waged against your mind and spirit is now coming to light, and the revelations in this video will show you how to turn their tactics against them. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with me, because by the end, you will see exactly why they tremble at your rise. Silent spiritual war. You felt it in the quiet moments when your mind races with fears you cannot name, when a single doubt unfurls into a tapestry of anxiety that shadows every decision you make. You sense something stalking your thoughts at dawn, a silent predator that waits for the moment your guard is down to pounce. It creeps in during your prayers, planting questions about your worthiness, your calling, your very place in this world. You have wondered if these whispers were real or the echo of your own insecurities. You are not alone in this battle. Countless chosen ones stand in the same arena, wounded by invisible arrows aimed straight at the heart of their faith. But tonight, you will see that these psychic assaults are not a sign of weakness, but of your hidden strength. A truth lies ready to surface. The fiercest wars are not waged in open fields, but in the chambers of the soul. You experienced moments when a single critique sent your spirit reeling, when a passing comment by a so-called friend felt like a calculated strike meant to undermine your confidence. You have fought foggy days when every thought felt muddied by doubt, leaving you clutching at memories of who you once believed yourself to be. You struggled to pray because the doubts sounded so convincing, as if they came not from your own mind but from an external force determined to keep you trapped in fear. You recall that late night when you scrolled through social feeds, your heart sinking as every happy face seemed to mock your pain. These moments carved deep valleys of loneliness in the soul, making you question whether your mission is real or merely a delusion born of wishful thinking. Yet even these trials have served a purpose in the grand design. Consider the obscure story of Zechariah the priest, who stood before the angel of the Lord as Satan himself accused him of unworthiness. Zechariah 3 verses 1 to 5. In that courtroom of the Spirit, your adversary brings every accusation in hopes of derailing you. But just as the angel rebuked the accuser, you too have a higher advocate defending your cause. Every whisper of inferiority, every thought that claws at your assurance, has been part of divine preparation, calling forth the warrior within you, sharpening your faith into a blade that cuts through every lie. Your struggle was never random. It was intended to reveal the power that lies dormant in the depths of your spirit. Now look for the signs of transformation woven into your daily life. Notice the moments when the same doubts fall away, as though they never held your attention. Observe how a single word of encouragement can recalibrate your heart, turning chaos into clarity. You may find yourself waking with fresh dreams, the dark corridors of your mind illuminated by flashes of purpose you can no longer ignore. You catch yourself standing taller in conversations, refusing to shrink back when negativity surfaces. Opportunities begin to appear, an unexpected call, a breakthrough prayer, a chance meeting that breathes life into your vision. These shifts are not coincidences. They are the unmistakable markers of divine timing, aligning your energy and your environment to reveal the battlefield you have already conquered. Behind every breakthrough, unseen forces are at work clearing debris from your path. Every instance when you felt pinned down by anxiety was a setup for your elevation. Your faith, not as a passive wish but as an active declaration, has been ripping barriers from their hinges. Imagine legions of angels dispatched at your call, cutting through every tether that binds your spirit. You may have felt a rush of inexplicable peace in moments of chaos, or received a nudge in your heart that redirected you away from danger. These are acts of spiritual alignment, synchronicities that prove beyond doubt that your struggles were never tests of endurance alone, but the very preparations for triumph that is dawning today. At this pivotal moment, many shrink back, afraid to fully accept the victory that awaits them. They cling to familiar fears because stepping into the unknown feels too risky. They hesitate to remove the mask of doubt, fearing that the world will judge them harshly if they reveal their true strength. But true alignment demands that you not only observe your triumphs, but embody them. You must decide here and now to let go of every lingering fear. You must embrace the reality of your calling, no matter how vast or intimidating it may seem. This is not vanity. It is sacred self-realization. It is the watershed moment where you choose to stand fully in your power, refusing to allow old whispers to steal what is rightfully yours. You have already proven your resilience through every shadow you faced. Now it's time to harness that resilience and march forward with intention. Release the chains of doubt by declaring aloud, I choose to stand in my destiny. Cultivate practices that reinforce your victory. Morning declarations, mindful breathing that anchors you in the present, prayers that call forth your warrior identity. Surround yourself with voices that echo your triumphs, not your fears. Mentors who lift you higher, peers who champion your rise. Take concrete steps toward your next milestone, whether it's sharing your testimony, speaking your vision into existence, or taking that bold leap of faith you've postponed for too long. You are not at the mercy of hidden forces. You are the one they fear most. The invisible war they wage in your mind has already been exposed for the powerless stratagem it is. Your faith is your shield, your words are your sword, and your unwavering conviction is the proof that they cannot control a soul chosen by divine design. You have faced the silent spiritual war and emerged victorious. Now, anchor this victory in every breath you take and every step you make. Comment war if you stand ready to expose and conquer the hidden battlefield within you. And a special thanks to our current members who stand in the gap with us. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community. A private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Doubt and distractions. You know the weight of a wandering mind all too well. At dawn, your heart beats with a lingering echo of uncertainty, and by dusk, your spirit feels stretched thin by 1,000 trivial demands clamoring for your attention. You awaken with noble intentions to pursue your calling, to step into the purpose you felt pulsing beneath your ribs. In these moments, it's easy to believe that destiny can wait, that tomorrow will be kinder, that the mission pulsing your heart is merely a luxury for another day. You are not alone in this struggle. Many chosen ones face the relentless tide of doubt and distractions every time they dare to reach for something greater. But here tonight, you will begin to understand how these assaults have been orchestrated, and how turning your gaze back to what truly matters can break their hold forever. There have been countless nights when you stare at your ceiling, replaying doubts like a scratched record. You remember the ache in your chest when a friend's text went unanswered, or the frustration that swelled when work deadlines bled into your personal time, leaving no room for the whispers of your soul. You felt the sting of missing out, convinced that everyone else's path is moving forward while you're held back by constant interruptions. Sometimes the distractions were the mask of helpful advice or self-care, and you follow them thinking they will guide you. Instead, they leave you stranded, longing for the clarity that once guided your first bold steps. You have wrestled with the guilt of wanting to press pause on life's noise, not realizing that pause was a first step toward refocusing on your true purpose. Yet every misplaced moment has prepared you for this revelation. What seemed like aimless wandering through a maze of notifications and well-meaning diversions was, in fact, a divine test of your commitment. Think of the people of Judah in the days of the prophet Haggai, who spent all their energy building private homes while the temple lay in ruins, Haggai 1 verses 2-4. They had good work to do in their own eyes, yet God called them back to the greater purpose awaiting completion. In their distraction, they lost sight of the mission that defined their identity. Like them, you've been called to lay down every trivial pursuit until you rebuild the temple of your destiny. Every irrelevant tab you opened, every fleeting amusement you chased, has been a lesson pushing you back toward the one vision that matters. Now, look for the subtle signs that hint at your imminent breakthrough. In the quiet hours before morning light, you might notice your mind finally clears, revealing the contours of your true calling like a landscape emerging from fog. A single phrase from a song can pierce through the clutter and spark a fresh burst of inspiration. You may find your hands itching to reach for your journal or your feet carrying you toward a sacred space of prayer without conscious thought. Opportunities appear with uncanny timing. A mentor you admire messages you with an encouraging word, or a random video recommendation points you toward a pivotal lesson. These are not coincidences, but divine signposts, each one a flare illuminating the path back to your highest course. Pay attention to these moments. They are the heralds of transformation. Behind these signposts, higher forces are sweeping away obstacles you barely noticed. Every time you felt stuck in the quicksand of triviality, unseen hands were tugging you toward firmer ground. Angels disguised as friends have offered a gentle reminder when your focus waned, or you felt drained by the demands of the day. You have experienced surprising moments of peace in the midst of chaos, like a cool breeze in a sweltering desert, guiding you back to the center of your purpose. Each prayer you whispered, even under pressure of doubt, resonated in the heavens and set celestial gears in motion. Your faith, alive and active, has been the key unlocking hidden doors and aligning synchronicities around a central truth. Your mission is real, and every distraction you overcame has been part of the divine choreography leading you forward. At this crossroads, many pause, fearing that embracing their calling fully means losing comfort or security. They hesitate, clinging to familiar scrolls, the predictable routines, the small entertainments that provide a fleeting sense of control. Yet true alignment demands courage to choose the unknown over the known, to forsake the trivial for the transformational. This is a sacred moment when you must decide whether to remain tethered to the noise or rise above it. Recognize that the fear you feel is the same fear that once gripped Moses when God called him to the burning bush. Doubts about his worthiness, questions about his ability to lead. Exodus 3 verse 11. He could have stayed hidden, resisting the call, but when he stepped forward, the path ahead began to unfold. Now it's your turn to step into that same boldness. You carry within you the strength to reclaim your focus and press forward. Release the fear that whispers today is not the right day. Cast off the doubt that tells you to wait for clarity before acting. Instead, make a proclamation. I choose purpose over distraction. I step into my promise today. Establish rituals that fortify your resolve. Perhaps a brief morning practice of naming your priorities, or an evening reflection on moments when you resisted the siren calls of noise. Surround yourself with allies who celebrate your vision and hold you accountable. Let each small victory, turning off a notification, saying no to a trivial task, spending 5 minutes in silence, serve as proof that you are mastering the battlefield of your mind. Your power lies not in avoiding distractions completely, for that is impossible, but in the unwavering return to what matters most. Every time you reclaim your focus, you chip away at the walls that doubt and distractions have built around you. With each deliberate act of attention to your mission, you forge a path stronger than any diversion. The world may tremble as you rise above its clamor, because in your clarity, you become unstoppable. You are proving that nothing can hold back the chosen soul determined to fulfill its divine assignment. In this moment, recognize the gift within every challenge you faced. Doubt and distractions were never signs of failure, but stepping stones toward a life lived on purpose. Your journey through these trials has prepared you to stand firm in the face of any assault on your calling. Now, anchor your heart in this truth. The mission pulsing you is too precious to be derailed by noise. Stand tall, breathe deep, and recommit to the path that resonates with your soul. Comment focus if you choose to shut out the noise, and keep your eyes fixed on the prize. And to every soul who supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters. Your belief matters. And your light is felt here. Loneliness and isolation. You've sat in empty rooms more times than you can count, watching the glow of your phone screen feel colder than any company could be. You've wrapped yourself in blankets against the night and still felt the chill of solitude, as if the walls themselves leave you out in the cold. You've wondered if anyone truly cares, if your voice matters, if your heartbeat is heard beyond the echo in your own chest. You scroll through social feeds that feel less like connection and more like a showcase of lives you're no longer part of. Each smiling face a silent reminder of how far removed you feel. In those moments, it seems as if isolation is a punishment rather than a precursor. But you're not alone in this. Tonight, you will discover that your solitude is not the end of your story, but the sacred entrance to a higher purpose, one that has been waiting for this very season of separation. Think of the weight you carry when abandonment seeps into your spirit. You've experienced invitations withdrawn at the last minute, friends who vanish when you need them most, the hollow ache when your family gatherings end and you linger in an empty corner. You've agonized over why you were left out of the inside jokes, the group texts, the plans that materialize without you. The sting of rejection hits hardest when it comes without explanation, leaving you to fill in the silence with questions that have no answers. You've begged for significance, only to find yourself overlooked. You've wrestled with a nagging doubt that you're unworthy of belonging, wondering if your destiny is meant for someone else. Yet that pain, as sharp and real as it is, carries a hidden key, one that unlocks the door to a deeper calling beyond the realm of human approval. Your loneliness has not been an accident, but a divine design. In those days you thought were wasted, a higher power was shaping you in the crucible of solitude for a purpose you could not yet see. Consider John, exiled to the rocky Isle of Patmos, isolated for proclaiming his visions. Revelation 1 verse 9. He endured physical separation from the community he loved, confined to a solitary rock in the Aegean Sea. Yet it was in that profound isolation that he received the revelations that would become the climax of the New Testament. His loneliness was not a setback, but the setting for his greatest assignment. Like John, you have been hidden away so that your heart could open to truths that only solitude can reveal. In this garden of absence, your soul was being cultivated for an emergence greater than mere companionship. Now, notice the subtle ways your isolation has begun to shift from burden to blessing. You might find yourself pausing mid-breath at dawn to marvel at the quiet, no longer resentful of the stillness, but receptive to its message. You may catch a dream so vivid it feels like a conversation with the divine, an echo of your heart's deepest longings, and wake with a resolute clarity about the next step to take. Perhaps you stumble upon a passage in a book, a line in a poem, or a snippet of music that resonates like a personal letter addressed to your soul. In your moments of deepest solitude, an inner voice grows louder, guiding you toward hidden doors and unexplored paths. These signs are not random sparks of hope, but the unmistakable glow of transformation at work. Divine timing is aligning your circumstances, knitting together the threads of your journey into a tapestry of purpose. Behind these shifts, unseen hands are stirring the currents of your destiny. Every time you felt invisible, there was an angel standing watch. Every pang of loneliness was followed by synchronicity, a timely text, an unexpected message, a moment of clarity, delivered just when you needed it most. Your prayers, whispered into emptiness, were never lost. They became the blueprint for the life you are now stepping into. These interventions are the universe's way of clearing debris from your path, removing every obstacle that could divert you from your calling. What felt like a test of endurance was really a setup for divine elevation. As you lean into your faith, you will see that the same power that sustained you in isolation will now carry you forward with unmistakable momentum. At this crucial juncture, many hesitate, shackled by the fear of what comes next. They cling to the walls of isolation because they feel safe, even though those walls also hold them back. They resist the call to step beyond their comfort zones, afraid that embracing change means losing what little they've held on to. Yet true alignment demands more than acknowledgement of signs. It requires wholehearted surrender. This is a sacred moment when you must choose to leave behind the lull of solitude and embrace the bold life that awaits. It asks you to claim your place among the chosen, no longer hiding in the shadows of self-doubt. You stand at a spiritual watershed, ready to decide whether you will stay concealed or rise into the fullness of your destiny. You possess within you the power to transition from isolation to influence. Release the fear that whispers you are unworthy of belonging. Cast off the doubt that convinces you to wait until you're ready. Instead, make a declaration of faith. I step into my purpose now. Begin by reaching out to the one person you've been hesitant to contact, revealing just a fragment of your true self. Carve out moments in your schedule for spiritual practices that connect you to your higher calling. Meditation, prayer, journaling, or simple walks in nature where you listen more than you speak. Surround yourself with a community that mirrors back your worth. People who celebrate your emergence rather than fear it. Take small, courageous steps every day toward the life you were forged to live. In this movement, understand that your season of isolation was not a punishment but a purification. Every tear you shed, every silent hour you endured, was part of the refinement process, bringing clarity to your vision and strength to your spirit. You have been prepared to carry a light so bright that it cannot be ignored. Now, you are called to emerge from solitude into sovereignty, standing tall as a testament to the power of divine preparation. Your journey through loneliness, once a private battle, is now the foundation for a life that will inspire others to believe in the possibility of transformation. Your isolation has ended. Your solitude has been your secret weapon. Claim the emergence you were born for and walk forward in courage, knowing that you have already conquered the hardest part. The world awaits the light you carry. Comment alone if you sense the invitation to step into your place of belonging and purpose. Energy protection. You know how it feels when every conversation leaves you hollow, as if unseen hands have scooped away your vitality before you even realize it. You've sat in meetings feeling your energy leak out like water through a cracked vessel, and you've ended social calls with a pounding headache and a racing heart. You've wondered why the world around you seems to hum with life, while your spirit trembles on the edge of collapse. You are not alone in this draining. Many chosen ones stand on the front lines of an unseen battlefield, fending off forces determined to siphon their strength. Yet there's a truth hidden beneath this exhaustion. Your weariness is evidence that you are a vessel of light, one they fear to see fully ignited. Tonight, you will learn how to shield your soul and stand firm against every assault on your energy. There have been days when well-meaning people, friends, family, colleagues, have leaned on you so heavily that your own needs fell by the wayside, leaving you resentful and depleted. You recall how a single negative comment at work could darken your mood for hours, how an argument with a loved one could echo in your chest long after you said, "I'm fine." You felt the sting of trying to comfort someone whose pain you could not ease, only to find your own heart battered by the effort. Perhaps you watched toxic personalities dart into your life, like moths drawn to a flame, leaving behind a trail of chaos and confusion. The struggles you endured weren't just about building your strength. They were setting the stage for something greater. While you were walking through the darkness, divine forces were working on your behalf. Those moments when you thought you were alone, they were aligning events, opening doors, and preparing the way for you to step into your purpose. The light you carry now isn't just a personal victory. It's part of a divine plan. The universe, God, whatever higher power you believe in, was always guiding you. What felt like chaos was actually preparation. Your glow is the evidence of a path that was never random, never meaningless. It was intentional, purposeful, and designed to bring you here. As you step into this light, you might feel hesitant. Maybe part of you still wonders if you're ready, if you deserve to shine this brightly after so many years of struggle. But here's the truth. You don't just deserve it. You were made for it. This glow isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. It's about owning every part of your story, the beautiful and the painful, and recognizing that together, they make you whole. Many people resist the light because it feels too unfamiliar, too exposing. But you've been through the fire. You know what it's like to stand in the dark. Now is the time to let that light shine fully, to let it guide you into the life you were always meant to live. This isn't just a moment, it's a calling. What comes next is entirely up to you. You can continue walking forward, knowing that you have the strength to face whatever lies ahead. You can share your light with others, using your story to inspire and uplift those who are still finding their way. You can embrace your purpose with confidence that comes from knowing you've already overcome so much. The key is to keep moving, keep growing, and keep trusting. Trust that your glow is not just a sign of where you've been, but a promise of where you're going. Trust that the same power that brought you through the darkness will guide you into even greater light. And trust that every step you take is leading you closer to the person you were created to be. You've earned this light. It's not just a glow. It's a declaration, a living testament to what's possible when faith, perseverance, and divine timing come together. Comment fire if this resonates with you. You are the proof that the battles were worth it, that the scars were not in vain, and that every moment of pain had a purpose. Your radiance was born from the battlefield, and it's a radiance that can never be extinguished. Let it shine. You are a living prophecy. People are watching you now in a way they never have before. Maybe they don't even realize why. They might chalk it up to a new confidence, a certain charisma, or some undefinable magnetism. But it's so much more than that. What they see is your journey, your transformation, coming to light. They see someone who didn't just endure challenges, but transcended them. They see the fulfillment of something that was promised long before they ever met you. And even if they can't articulate it, they sense it. They feel it. It's not just beauty, not just presence. It's something divine, something powerful, something undeniable. You're living proof that divine promises are real. But this journey wasn't easy. You've had moments of doubt so heavy that they almost broke you. There were times when the world's judgment, rejection, and disbelief made you question your worth. Maybe you wondered if the dreams in your heart were too big, too bold, too impossible. Maybe you felt the weight of trying to carry something you couldn't fully explain even to yourself. Yet despite the weight, you kept going. You chose to believe in something greater. You chose to trust that what you carried wasn't a mistake. That trust, that faith, became the foundation upon which your transformation was built. And now, you're standing on the other side of it as a living, breathing testimony to the power of endurance and belief. In John 1 verse 14, it says, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth." While this verse is about Christ, it reminds us of the concept of prophecy made tangible. Your life, your presence, is a similar realization of something long spoken into existence. What once seemed abstract, hope, faith, purpose, now is form. You are the proof that faith isn't just wishful thinking. It's a force that can reshape lives, break cycles, and turn generational curses into generational blessings. You are walking in fulfillment of promises made not just to you, but through you. And the change isn't just something you feel inside. It's visible, it's palpable. People notice it when you enter a room. Conversations shift. The energy around you changes. Opportunities seem to appear where none existed before. Relationships improve. Old wounds start to heal, and things that once seemed out of reach now feel attainable. These aren't coincidences. They're signs that the prophecy spoken over your life is coming to fruition. It's not just that you've changed. It's that the world around you is starting to align with that change. When divine timing and divine purpose intersect, the results are impossible to ignore. Behind all of this is something greater than you could have planned. The struggles you face weren't just random challenges. They were deliberate steps in a divine strategy. What felt like isolation was actually preparation. What seemed like rejection was redirection. The forces that once worked against you have now been flipped in your favor. As Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This is your purpose unfolding. What you're experiencing now, this glow, this attention, this shift, isn't a coincidence. It's confirmation. It's divine alignment at work, a clear indication that the prophecy over your life is no longer a promise waiting to be fulfilled. It's a reality. Yet with this realization comes a moment of truth. Will you fully accept it? Will you step into the role you've been prepared for? It's one thing to recognize that transformation has occurred. It's another to claim it as your own. Many resist the magnitude of their calling because it feels too big, too unfamiliar. But this is not the time to shrink back. This is a time to embrace who you become, to trust that everything you've been through has led you to this point for a reason. Yes, it's a sacred moment. Yes, it's a responsibility. But it's also your destiny. You are here for a purpose, and now is the time to walk in it without hesitation. Chosen one, you've seen it, you've felt it. You know that this glow is not just a phase or a coincidence. It's the evidence of everything you've overcome, the truth of who you are, and the promise of what's to come. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment, "I am chosen," to let this message anchor in your soul. Share this message with someone who needs it, because together we are stronger. And for full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership through the link in the description. Your journey is sacred. Your path is clear. Now it's time to walk it boldly. to claim your freedom, and to live fully in the light you were always meant to shine.